Hello, my name is P van Elven and welcome to my presentation. Today I will be presenting the process of the early stages of prototyping the app VocaVia. So first let's meet our proto-persona. Her name is Alison Brooks, as well known as Ellie. Ellie is 31 years old, German. She's very studious because she studies anthropology on the side. She has a long distance relationship because she works half of the year remotely from a diversity of countries and the other half of the year in Germany as a graphic designer. Now for Ellie, traveling, she says, traveling is my reality. Communication is key to a beautiful experience. So this is the person that we'll be keeping in the back of our minds as our main user when going through the app. So Ellie has some needs and goals. She likes to be entertained. She likes her information to be presented in a varied and themed way. It has to be short and interruptible at an adjustable pace. And aided by visual and sounds. As a true German, she likes to be challenged and rewarded. And all of this is to create confidence when she enters a new country, a little bit of goodwill with the locals to maximize her experience. She likes the feeling of accomplishment and she wants to, in general, have a feeling of personal growth. So the problem brief we've been presented with is that Ellie wants a vocabulary learning app, which is suitable for learning while on the move. She wants memorizing to be made easy with visual aid and the ability to add personalized definitions to the words. So this leads to the problem statement. Ellie needs an entertaining and motivating way to quickly learn basic vocabulary because she enters a lot of new countries during her trips and she likes to connect to the local culture and feel confident. The problems that Ellie encounters is that she needs some basic knowledge when traveling. She has a short attention span. Memorizing words for her is not easy. She has a busy schedule. She gets bored easily, has a lot of distractions, and she gets annoyed when she gets rewarded too easily. She likes to work for things. So all of these problems we've put together in our wireframes. So we started off with thinking about what would be a logical way to structure the app, structure the information. We made a lot of decisions on which screens, which functionalities could possibly work. Had a bit of nostalgic feelings when grabbing the scissors and the glue out to make some changes, and we ended up with some wireframes which we digitalized and refined. So these are the prototypes. We started with a quick onboarding, email login, a home page with a menu, an about page, a profile where basic information can be accessed, as well as the stats, ability to share the stats and to start playing or learning in the level that you are at. And also this is where you can see which contributions, so which definitions for words you've added. This is the place to be. Then the flash mode, as you've seen maybe on the home page, you can first pick a language, a theme, setting your level to go ahead. Then you see a screen with some instructions. You can skip a word, you can swipe left or right to go to the next word. You can double tap for some more information, so you can add your definition there. There's a relevant example to the user, so travel themed, and there's a sound aid, so you can tap that to listen. And if you swipe down, you can be challenged, so you can either do a personal test or a challenge. The difference between these is that testing is like with zero pressure. You can just interactively test yourself. You're not playing against time, and when you compete, you do play against time, and the algorithm calculates your score, which you can submit to your scoreboard. So it's a simple functionality of dragging the image to the right correct word, and you can access your scoreboard once you've played in compete mode. So the first rough prototype that we tested with our users was tested on the basic features. So we defined them as the following tasks: learn new vocabulary to a point where you think you are ready to get tested. Second one, improve your score. Third is add a definition. And fourth is check your added contributions. If users could manage this, then we'd have a successful structure for the app. So we put this to the test, and of course, as expected, there are some changes to be made. The most, this is probably the most easy to fix, but it's still important as we just have the users opening our app for the first time, and it turns out that they do not intuitively swipe after the last onboarding screen to the creating account screen. So should be fairly easy to fix, but still one issue. The next one is a major usability problem, and we have to work on fixing this. It's the Flash Me mode just has too many functionalities, and also they're a bit too complicated. They're not intuitive enough. So when people read the instructions, even when they read them carefully, they tend to forget what they had to do. So the left and right arrow is pretty clear, but swiping down for challenge, swiping up for skipping a word, and double tapping for more info is not intuitive enough. Next, the difference between the Challenge Me and the Test Me mode was not very clear. Could be perhaps simplified. We'll get to that later. And the need for the functionality of adding definitions is doubted. This has been pretty consistent feedback throughout the user testing. It's definitely considered a secondary feature of the app, and it's stated that if it's just for learning vocabulary, it maybe does not make a lot of sense to make notes. If you learn grammar, yes, or if you want to really help the user memorize a word, maybe offer the option of creating your own personalized flash deck. So not just a definition to a word, but just a clear deck where you can add the words that you have trouble reminding. You can create your own flashcards. So that's definitely one to keep in mind. Then the bottom navigation, next prototype round will label these a bit clearer. But we've also had some suggestions to maybe double the bottom navigation in the top right navigation, because this is where people naturally tend to go. So it could have something to do with the bottom navigation not being labeled clearly, but something to consider. So the planned improvements for the onboarding page, the easy fix, that was we can just add a login or next button, a clear call to action. For the Flash Me mode complications, I think we have to add buttons or icons for the skip and turn flashcard mode, something that explains itself, doesn't take up too much space. And we should, I think we should test maybe not giving the user the option to test whenever they want or compete, but to have them complete a full flashcard deck and then having them being prompted by the question, do you want to be tested or challenged? That brings me to the next point, whether we should have these two different options. I think we can quite easily combine the Test Me functionality with the Challenge Me functionality. And that means we just have to keep the skip words only out of the Flash Me mode, but we should include them in Challenge Me. So we already kind of have the functionality of submitting a score, so I'm not sure if the Test Me functionality really adds value. Then we should have a follow-up conversation about whether to keep the My Contributions, whether we're going to revise it. If we do keep it, we should add it to the top right menu, because this is where people tend to look for their added contributions. And as for the navigation, we should improve the labeling of the prototype. So the next steps, we should definitely discuss the necessity for adding definitions through My Contributions with the stakeholders. Next, we'll implement the changes to the prototype based on this discussion. We'll do another round of usability testing, and we'll present to you the mid-fidelity prototypes with all the improvements that are discussed now incorporated. So this is the status so far. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.